starting.
So do it. So do it. So why aren't you doing it? So do it already.
I'm Caitlin. I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Hunter.
This is the Family Showdown.
Can I talk now?
Yes, you can talk now. Again.
Hello! Welcome to Family Showdown. Shenanigans. No shenanigans tonight. Well, there's always shenanigans. But we have a purpose. And that purpose is a top 10 list. Top 10 multiplayer games that are awesome as two-player games. Now, I believe we've made this list in the past. Is that correct?
So before we start, the title bothers me on some level. Because 2 players is multiplayer, right?
Well, yeah, it's plural. More than one player.
So there needs to be a game term for three or more players. I don't know. But back to our original question. Yes, we have made this list before. We made this list on January 10th, 2016. So 2 years ago, we've made this list.
What?
It's
2 years ago.
2 years ago we made this
We're
list.
old.
And I would, just a rough estimate, in those 2 years we probably played 300 new games?
Easily.
400 new games?
Easily.
Okay. So, I have in front of me our original list. Rebecca hasn't seen it.
I have not.
So we're going to,
You do
if
have
we
it.
ever have a crossover, I'll let you guys know. I suspect there'll be minimal crossover between our lists.
I know of one that I'm pretty sure would be a crossover that will be on the old list.
Maybe.
Two.
So, of course,
Two.
And I did not look at the
Two,
list.
I'll have two.
I just looked these lists up just a few minutes ago.
Lies.
So I did not know what was on the
Lies.
list when we made it.
Interesting.
So there's that. So when I made my list, I made it different than last time. Looking at my old list,
I wish I knew.
Last time I kind of just picked all my games I like that play 2 players. That's kind of I just went my favorite games.
You're such a noob. 2 years ago.
2 years ago. This time, I'm more focusing on how much better it plays 2-player compared to more players. And do I prefer it 2 players? These are all factors that weigh into it. Do I prefer it 2 players?
Okay.
Is it better than 3, 4, 5 more players? Is there minimal variation between the 4-player and the 2-player? Like the 2-player is not some weird variant that is completely different from the game.
Okay.
I put a little more thought into making the list. A little bit more thought into making the list. So
You're distracted by shiny things.
So that's that. You have anything to preface your list?
Yes. I don't know what all that rambling was about, but
No. Do you have anything to say about your list?
yeah, no.
Okay.
My list. I did something very similar. I did not just pick 10 games that I really like. That's 2-player. I don't know if I went as far as you as saying I prefer them 2-player over.
I said that was a factor.
No, I know, but I was thinking, like, in mine, I was just thinking it's a really darn good game, and we've used it as, like, a kind of a go-to 2-player. We enjoy it playing 2-player so much that, it's going to make this list. So, that's what I did. So, I did, it was balanced, and I enjoyed it with more players, and I enjoy it with 2-player.
Yeah, see, I didn't factor in at all how much I liked it more than 2 players. So,
I mean, I didn't weigh it. I didn't weigh the like ranking that way. I just qualified it that way.
Okay. So, if you guys watched, this is our first top 10 of 2018.
Woo woo!
So,
is it really?
Yes.
Wow.
So if you watched one of our Q&As, we do 5 on the spot, like a top 5 real quickly. I made the executive decision, even though I'm not the executive, I'm more the treasurer. I made the executive decision that we're going to topsy-turvy it this year, and I will be going first.
Oh, wait, what? Oh my gosh, the world is coming to an end.
For
This is
all of
insane.
2018, I will be going first.
Prima donna.
So, actually, I think the last position has the most power because you have the last. So you're like,
Oh, I was sure gonna be like, haha, you're wrong.
You're-
I don't know. I do that anyway, right? Doesn't matter.
Okay, so before I start, I will say, just for tradition purposes, I have a mega cheat on my list. And I'll explain what that means when I get to it.
You purposely cheated on your list.
What's that?
You purposely cheated on your list.
There was a purpose behind my cheating. I will explain it when I get to it.
Oh, the purpose. Okay.
I
you
think
purposely-
the cheat greatly enhances my list. Whatever that means.
I was gonna say, does your list stink so badly that you have to distract us from it?
It'll all become clear when it arrives. All right. So we're ready.
Oh, I'm
Anything
all
else?
ears.
Anything
No,
else?
you get to go first.
All right. My number 10. Hold on. I gotta get. That's the minus of me doing first, so that I can't prep the thing. All right. My number 10 is a brand spanking new game that we just played like a week ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks I think. But yeah.
See if I can say it right. Rajas
Okay.
of the Ganges.
Of the what?
Ganges.
Okay, I thought you said Janjies, and I was gonna slap you.
Because I've been working with a team down in Panama so long. I want to say Rajas.
Oh. I was like, what's the confusion? That's funny. Okay.
Rajas.
I totally get that. Dog.
So-
Wait.
This game is brand new to us. We just played it, and that's probably the only reason it's down at 10. Because as soon as we finished the game, I was like, "Wow, this is a great game." Because
It is actually really cool.
I like worker placement and I like dice. Champions of Midgard is one of my all-time favorite games, and this is worker placement with dice, and
It is cool.
I really
It's very cool.
enjoyed it. I especially like the way you win in this game. It's very interesting because in this game you're trying to build up your money, at the same time building up your fame or prestige, or I can't remember what the other track is. There's 2 tracks.
So memorable.
So when you do, you kind of, there's a scoring path around the board, and money goes one direction, and your fame or whatever it's called goes the other direction, and you win by having them meet or cross over.
Yeah.
So the
That part's really- I like
first
that
person
aspect
to
of it.
cross their money with their fame, or whatever it is, prestige or victory points, whatever you want to call it, wins the game. Well, triggers the end of the game, and then whoever has the greatest distance between the 2 that have crossed, basically they've overlapped
how you win.
further. So that's
Yeah.
how you decide who wins. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that, and it was very interesting to me because you can really I think we did opposite things. I really focused in on earning lots of money.
We did a lot.
And
different.
she focused in on getting lots of victory points. So it really was interesting that you can go completely 2 different directions, but
We still made it competitive.
yeah, and we were within a few points of each other at the end.
Yeah, which that kind of surprised me because you know how I play
I
sometimes.
insulted the entire continent of Asia. My apologies. all you Rajas out there, I apologize. So anyway, Rajas of the Ganges. Rajas?
Oh,
Rajas of the Ganges is my number 10.
I apologize to any English-speaking peoples. No. All right, my number 10 is probably on my original list.
Oh, that's not a crossover, obviously, because we just...
Oh, I was about to guess that.
I just want to clarify. It wasn't a crossover because we just played it a week ago.
You knew you were going to play it 2 years ago.
Yep.
So this one I can almost guarantee is a crossover because I still, when I think of 2-player games, this is the one that I think of almost first, honestly, and that is Biblios. And it's one of those games that's highly portable. It's cute. I like the little book theme and the book shape of the box and the gameplay. I mean, it's a great game for us to just throw down really quickly. And to us, it's like a 10-minute game, really. I mean, we slap it down and throw cards around, and it's a lot of fun. We like it. I like the fact that it's kind of 2 parts. You're bidding to get stuff. Well, you're kind of choosing. You get to take turns picking who's getting what and all this stuff, and then in the next round, you're bidding for that, basically the discard pile that you'd left. And so it's just very simple, basic game, but it's got a lot of fun, light strategy to it. So, Biblios, awesome 2-player game. One of our go-tos.
Yeah, I didn't consider this one. It was not on your list last year.
Really?
So I don't know if
2 years ago.
I don't know. Well, 2 years ago. I don't know if we played it yet.
Wow, no way.
You got to remember this was right when the channel started.
Oh yeah, I know, but Biblios we've had for so long. I thought we had it
But
beyond that.
for whatever
Maybe we
reason, it's
didn't.
not on your list.
Okay, we might not have then. I'll have to look back.
All right.
I'm shocked.
Yep.
If that's not a crossover, then I may have no crossovers. I don't know.
All right. So my number 9. Let's see what my number 9 is. Number 9.
Wow, you are Cult of the New.
I am Cult of the
You
New.
are Cult of the New.
My number 9 is Altiplano. I really enjoyed Altiplano. It's a really cool
It's
game.
actually a really cute game. I like it. And it's got alpacas, and they're adorable.
I don't know why.
Animals.
Well, yeah, it's animals. That's important. But in addition to it being about animals, I don't know. I like the way it's interesting how it interacts with each other, because you have your play board and that's your worker placement area, right?
Yeah.
But you still have it's almost like a map of all the different areas, and you have to move your guy around to be at the location you want to interact with to do the worker placement.
Yep.
And it's got bag building, whatever you want to call it, pool building. That I really, really enjoy that mechanism. I don't know why it's not used more. I guess they're starting to pop up here and there. But
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. I just really enjoyed this game. It's. I talked to Rebecca. I think I even talked about this in one of our Q&As. Is I really finding I'm liking the mid-weight Euros that are just really smooth. And this is
smooth.
This is one of the ones that falls in that area. It's a really smooth mid-weight Euro game.
It is.
And you know, that
awesome.
hour to hour and a half time frame. It's just one of the, I'm just finding that's my sweet spot for games, and there'll be a handful of those on my list. So that's that. Another
Very cool.
Cult of the New.
It is, but it's a good 2-player for us.
We'll get to the older ones here in a bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed this
Hi,
one.
Brett.
I don't think we've played this one with more than 2, right? Have we played this one? With
No,
more?
we haven't had a chance to yet.
So I can't speak for how well it is multiplayer. I just know the 2-player is awesome. So.
Alpacas.
All right. What's your number?
But did you play with more than one alpaca?
Alpaca? What's your number 9?
My number 9 is another oldie but goodie. Well,
Oh, wow.
oldie. And it is Caverna. And I think almost I prefer this one 2-player as to more, because it seems like it really dragged out the time in the game for me. But I love this game, and particularly I like the fact that I don't know. I think what helped it too, we suffered with this one for a while. We loved the game, but the setup and everything was so bad. And so we splurged and got the insert for that. And that saved that game completely. And it's been awesome, because now you just, and we're ready to play. And so, and I just love the fact that you've got kind of 2 sides. You know, your little dwarves or whatever, doesn't matter what they are, because they're not dwarves. Yeah, they are. They're dwarves, because they're mining. Or they could go out and raise 10,000 sheep. I'm not talking about anybody in particular.
The sheep strategy's won the game every time for me.
That's true. You did lose when you did not have the sheep collection.
The cuddle room.
We're just going to leave that alone. Anyway, but no, Caverna, awesome 2-player. It goes a lot more swiftly, and you still have the same levels of strategy and everything else. I don't know. I didn't see... I just think
this one made my short list. I don't know. I think... I just, for whatever reason, I think 3 or 4, 5 may be a better spot for this one.
What? Nope. 2-player for me. Maybe 3-player.
I won't argue with it. It's a good pick. It's a really good pick, but that's just my
It's
thought.
too much. The game play itself, I don't mind, but I feel like the game starts to drag with more players. That's just me.
Yep.
So there you go. 2 players.
Okay.
Caverna.
No, I won't argue. I mean, it's not a bad choice. It just didn't make my list.
Darn right, it's a good choice. In fact, it's my number 9 choice. It's pretty good.
All right, my number 8 is
Wow, you are cold to the new, man.
Terraforming Mars is over a year old. My number 8 is
That is
Terraforming Mars.
Okay.
The reason this immediately went to my list, this is one of the first ones I thought of. It didn't make the top of my list, but it's one of the first ones. Because I played a 4-player game of this. Oh, it took like
Forever.
4 hours. Don't ask me why. I mean, there was like 2 new players, but still. I don't know if I would ever play this game again 4 players. It was
I
just
like
it
it
was just
2-player.
too long.
I like it
It was just
2-player.
too long for me. It was just I mean, it just after a while is like is it because the whole you do your whole turn and it's the next person you do your whole turn and the next person and it just took a long time to play with lots of players. But I love it 2 players. It is awesome because it's boom 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 right back and forth. You get your turn comes around really quick.
Exchanging the cards,
really-
everything. Yeah.
I really
Everything goes
enjoy it. There's not much of a difference 2 players. It's just the drafting and the
Yeah.
scoring's a little different for the awards and things. I think only the winner gets points. I can't remember. They're slightly different with the scoring of the awards and milestones or whatever they're called. The draft is a little different, but other than that, it plays the same, and it just really the turns are really quicker.
It is. It's awesome.
We can knock it out in pretty much a little over an hour.
Yeah.
A little over an hour.
Yeah, 'cause we
and
know the game now.
It's just
It's and the theme's amazing.
yeah.
And-
So I don't.
Yeah.
I don't recommend this game for players. It's just too long for me.
Yeah, it does drag.
And I don't mind long games, but I want interaction. I want things happening.
Well, yeah, there's no change, right? It's just more of the same.
It's just waiting longer for your
Longer.
turn.
Yeah,
That's all.
it's- yeah,
I mean,
so
there is some
there's-
interactive cards, but it's not like I'm really going, oh, what is he doing on his turn? I really need to focus. You could walk off and come back 20 minutes later for your turn and not really miss anything.
That's kind of messed up.
It's true.
It's such a good game.
It's true because most of the games, the longer games I like have
Constant interaction.
either there's interaction like auctioning or bidding, or you like in like TI3 or something, you're sharing actions and
Yeah.
you're really concerned about what other people are doing. And Terraforming Mars does not have any of that.
Well, and Terraforming Mars 2, you're kind of building up your engine, so after a while, your engine, all your stuff starts kicking off. Well, this chain reacts so that I built enough of this, so now I get to put a green spot, I have a green belt on the planet, and I get to do this, and this produces that. And so everybody's, especially new players, are going to be thinking about that more, right? So,
yeah. All right, that's it. My number 8,
Awesome
Terraforming
game.
Mars.
Good. Good pick.
Still no crossovers from our last list.
That's interesting.
All right, what's your number?
My number 8 is also an older one, and that is 5 Tribes. I really didn't see much difference, honestly, with the difference, in gameplay, and I just like how quickly it seems like we can get this game through, and the strategies seem to be the same. Maybe you're a little less likely that the plans that you're making are going to be picked off because you only have one person versus a bunch of people that could be messing up anything. Because honestly, I don't think I'd make any plans when it comes to playing with multiple
4
people.
players, yeah. By the time it
you
gets
can't.
around to you,
By
the board's gonna be completely
The board's
different.
completely different. There's no way to do it. But with 2 players, sometimes you can maybe plan it out a little bit. You don't want to stare at it too much because then people watch and then they're like, "Oh, you want that, huh? I'm gonna go over here."
Stare at a spot. So yeah, I thought about this one. It actually was on my short list, but I'm not sure how sold I am on each player taking 2 turns for Yamatai and 5 Tribes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't mind that. I think it's kind of fun. Part of the strategy, kind of.
Well, I mean, it
pushes
tricks
the
up
envelope
the
a little
bidding, and you can conceivably get 4 turns in a row.
Yeah, if you do it right.
Yeah. So
And-
that's the only thing that kind of pushed it. Well, I mean, I don't.
Well, see, because
It isn't a good enough game to make my list, but in addition to that, I'm not a big fan of the.
Did you just call this not a good enough game?
To make my list? Yes, it's not good enough to make my list.
Next.
So, this was Rebecca's 9 last year.
2 years ago.
2 years. I keep saying last year. Last time we did the video.
Wow. So this was on there. This was not the other crossover game I thought we'd have.
9. It was your number
may have
9. 5 Tribes. We'll go over the entire list at the
don't-
very end as a bonus.
We don't
but
have the expansion to this, do we?
nope, we don't have any expansions.
I guess we just had some really good plays. I was like, it's interesting that it's actually gone up. I find that very interesting.
Yep. All right.
We've had more plays of it too. Maybe that's part of it. It's
My
just
number
a good
7
game.
is
Not as good as mine. Well, that is a good game though.
Orleans.
This low?
Orleans. Orleans.
Oh man.
So, I think in a previous video, it may have been our games of 2017. I said I liked Altiplano better than Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I think about it, I think I like Orleans better because
We have a waffle.
yes, I'm a waffler. because I mean, when I was making my list, I sat there and I was going to have them back to back, and I really thought about it. I was like, okay, I really enjoy the events in Orleans.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you a little direction for your turn, right? Because you get
That's
that
true.
you get that preview, that little event. Oh, this is going to happen at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
And you kind of gives you some direction. Oh man, I need to get some resources, or I need
Yeah.
to prepare for this, or I need to do this. It kind of gives you a little something to react to, and I find that I like games like that because it kind of you can't just kind of do the strategy. I'm going to do this the whole game. You kind of got to react to what's going on, and I think if they took. And I would not be surprised if they don't make an expansion for Altiplano that has events. Because they'd be crazy not to.
Well, okay, but are you changing your mind about how you feel about the different bag building? Because we talked about that. The real difference is, okay, Orleans got where you throw everything back in.
It's completely random.
Yeah, it's random every time. So you're going to start
Well, you
kind
can
of loading
you
it.
can save some from turn to turn.
Yeah, but you don't want to do too many.
You can manipulate
You can
it a little
stack the
bit.
deck a little
Yes,
bit.
yes.
But Altiplano, you're going to go through your whole bag. To me, it's kind of like Dice Masters, right? You end up pulling everything out before you put anything back in.
Right.
So you need to plan on how that might play out, as opposed to every single time, it could be anything that you've
Right.
made.
There's
So-
a little bit. There's more luck involved with Orleans. But anyway, I think the big thing for me though is the events. That's really what
The events are cool.
what kind of gives it that extra. Which like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if.
Well, they don't have a hero's realm or whatever they call it, the town hall or wherever everybody goes to die, as we call it.
They kind of do. They have the warehouse and
The warehouse where stuff goes to die.
stuff goes to be stored.
It's not as exciting that way when you put it that way, though. It's more fun when you're like, I really
Send
don't
him
want
off
this
to
hero
die.
always in my bag, so
Yeah.
I'm going to send him off to die.
So that's my number 7. Again, not a crossover because we hadn't played this one
Nope.
by the time we had the
Have this. Nope. No
So
way.
It's effectively a new game since the last video.
Yep.
So, although we've played, this is a couple years old now.
Yeah,
Almost-
but it
almost.
was like July.
Yeah.
So, yep. There you have it. My number 7. Yes, I put mine back to back. Gosh darn it. I love Yamatai. I don't care what Hunter says. He's like, I don't like the 2-player variant. Blah, 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 blah.
I
Guess
don't
what?
dislike the 2-player.
I do like it. And I think I like it so much that I prefer it. Although I find it interesting, but I think, I don't know. I like playing this anyways, shape or form. I like it.
No, it's fine. I mean,
It's gorgeous, for one thing. I think it's more beautiful than Five Tribes. And honestly, I don't know why I like the way the game plays a little bit better. I just think it's kind of fun the way you're planning out, you're making this path with the boats, but your color combinations do a couple of different things, and you can decide if you want to take loot off the island. I just, fun. I love the combos and working with those and achieving little achievements in the cards and the interplay with all of that.
I
So, yeah.
do prefer Yamatai over Five Tribes.
Do you? You do that?
But
Oh.
still not good enough to make the list.
Oh my goodness!
Again, this is
love
another
it,
one that we
two-player.
haven't.
Love it.
We've played since we first played it since the last list, obviously. 'cause
Oh yeah, yeah.
a-
This is
a-
too new. This
yep.
is last year, but gorgeous game. I was intrigued by this game before I even knew how it was going to play, just because their art was amazing. You know what? And the way to sell a game, guys. That was.
Days
gorgeous.
of Wonder, it usually does a pretty good
Yeah,
job.
they're amazing.
All right, my number 6. Let's see what it is. Another new list. Cult of the New.
Cult of the New.
My number 6 is Lorenzo Il Magnifico.
And that game is Il Magnifico.
This is an amazing game.
It is indeed.
Really, really enjoy this game. We
awesome.
recently played it 3 players with a fan of the show.
Hi, Brent.
So that kind of reinforced that I like it better 2-player just because the turns go faster.
You know what? I liked it 3-player, though. I was surprised because it kind of opened up a couple of things we've never actually gotten to see before.
Yeah, but we hardly used those spots.
I used it.
Well, yeah.
I used it a lot.
I don't know.
I just suck at the
I think
game,
it just
though.
flows really well 2-player.
It does. It flows really well 2-player, and I'm impressed with it. I was surprised at how well it flowed 3-player. I thought it might get
It did
clunkier
really
or
well,
something.
but it was
It's
a
smooth.
longer game. It was a longer game.
No, this made my short list, and the only reason is I honestly don't have a reason. I was picking not my favorite games, but ones that I instantly think of as a 2-player, and I still haven't played this one enough to put that on my radar, but it is. It's really good. I think it's really good 3-player. I think it's really good 2-player, and so it's my 11. We'll
It
put
doesn't
it that way.
add a lot. I mean, it just seems like I don't know. It just seems like we blocked each other more. We had to pay a lot more to use the towers because if you go to the same tower another player's at, you have to pay.
Oh,
pay
you had
money.
to work. Did you
There was
hear
a
that?
lot more.
It's a lot of
it was a
work.
lot tighter. It seemed like the scores weren't as high. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I
still feel
really,
like-
really, really enjoyed it 3-player, but I think I prefer it 2-player.
I was surprised by how much I was still able to purchase. I was thinking it would cut it off entirely. You know, it seemed like somehow we always ended up with enough of money or something to be able to get things. You still didn't come out dry at each round going, oh my gosh, I wasn't able to buy a single card. You still ended up getting
I
something.
know we got a lot of stuff. I mean,
So-
it just seems like we were the money was much tighter than when we
Yeah.
play. It
Yeah.
was much tighter.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because we went to that we hardly ever go to the spot where you get 5 coins, and that spot was taken every
Every
single round. That spot was
That's true.
taken.
That's true. You
Money
need
was
to-
much tighter.
No, I don't think
Which is some
it's-
people will prefer. Some people
Yeah.
like their worker placements to be super tight. And
Well, and I like some games like that, and typically I don't know. Yeah, this is kind of opposite of me usually, because now that I think about it, I usually like the looser game where, like, Scythe. I didn't put Scythe on my, spoiler, sorry. I didn't put it on this because I was like, you can go about and kind of avoid each other in Scythe and not interact much. Sometimes I prefer that in a game.
Yep.
But, and sometimes in Scythe I actually enjoy that, because then it's kind of like, I'm going to come over here and mess with you. And I'm going to back away, But with this game, it changes it up. I don't know.
Okay. Fair
Just
enough.
thought.
Fair enough.
Just thought. I like
This
it.
is one of the ones that really just made my list because I really, really love the game and I really
Oh, it's
enjoy
a
2-player.
good game.
It doesn't. All those other factors don't matter.
Even though the box cover looks like a bad curtain.
No,
What?
it's Lorenzo.
They put a scary dude in the middle of a carpeting. Anybody want an Oriental rug?
What's your number 6?
My number 6 is an oldie. And I bet y'all I don't know. I'm curious if anyone agrees. I like Pandemic. I went ahead and put all things Pandemic. Because, specifically, we did Pandemic Legacy Season 1, 2-player. We were worried about it. We did some research before we dove in. And loved it. I've taught several people how to played Pandemic 2-player, played Pandemic the Cure 2-player a million times with Katie in particular. She loves that one. And it plays really well 2-player. It plays awesome as a group. It depends on what you want to do. I think it's one of those that if you're wanting the interaction, play with a bunch of people. If you're just wanting to play the game and work out the strategy, 2-player is awesome. It doesn't change how the game plays. It still has the ability of, being difficult, but not so much so that you can't beat the game still.
Honestly, I think 2-player is easier than with more players.
Yeah, I think it.
Well, it
has
depends
that
on your roles. Now, if you take
that's the
if you
thing.
take the more powerful roles, I think it's a lot easier 2-player.
Yeah.
If you take not as good roles, obviously, it's going to
Yeah.
be much tougher.
Yep.
But I was going to say that when we play 2-player, we play one character each. A lot of people will play 2 characters each for 2-player. We usually only play one character.
Yeah, we usually just do the one. Unless we're feeling crazy. It's like, yes.
Tommy asked if we're ready for Season 2.
Yes.
Problem is we got games queued up.
That's true. We have First Martians. And we have
Charterstone.
Charterstone, too. And, ooh,
I think we'll just do a hidden vote to see which one we want to do.
I don't know
next,
how we're
and
gonna.
whoever wins. Will...
Yeah, this is going to be a tough call. Because, playing a stream of games in a row is difficult for us, so.
First Martian just keeps getting pushed back and back and back because I keep hearing bad things about it. The rules are clunky. It's hard to understand. And
What do you guys think? I'm curious. Throw some comments if you've
Anyway,
played it. While we're listing things.
None of the pandemics made your list last time.
And that doesn't surprise me because I don't think we'd played it much 2-player yet. back then.
Probably.
I'm thinking
Probably. All right, my number 5, right?
yes, because you're leading now.
Yes. It's so confusing.
It is. Why'd you have to change things up?
Cult of the New is back!
Oh my gosh! Talk about
Clans
new.
of Caledonia!
Oh my goodness!
I really, really love this game, and I have not played it with more than 2. I am dying to play it with more than 2, because I think it'll be even better. That's just a total guess on my part.
Yeah,
but
I
I
can see that.
love this game 2-player. They kind of constrict the board a little bit for 2 players. I just love this game.
It's so much fun.
It's like, to me, almost like you take the combat out of Scythe. This is what you end up with to a certain extent. Because I like how the resources work. I like how the area control works. I like how everybody has a different power. I like how you fill contracts.
There's cheese and whiskey,
There's cheese and whiskey. You can't go wrong with that.
cows and sheep.
This game.
It's got animals.
Every time I play, it has animals. Every time I play it, I'm like, this game is awesome.
You do, yes.
I really want to get this to the table with a full 4 players. I think it would be amazing.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
But I just love this game 2-player. It's one of my favorite. I probably top 20 material for all time.
Dang.
I really this is a mid-weight Euro.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
plays in about an hour to an hour and a half.
There you go.
It's just
magical.
If you look at my whole list, that's pretty much my entire list. Midweight Euro that plays in about an hour to hour and a half. That's just, I'm fine. That's what I want to play. If you just say, Hunter, what game do you want to play? And that's what I'm going to pull off the shelf, a game like that.
Hunter, what would you like to play?
What would I like to play? A midweight Euro that takes about an hour to an hour and a half.
Oh, guys. Okay.
Clans of Caledonia, I highly recommend it. If you like Euro games.
And Scotland.
You need to try this one out. This
It's
one's
Scottish.
a good one.
There's no golf.
You can pretend you're playing golf.
With cheese?
Possibly.
All right, my number 5 takes you to other parts of the world. We're going to get to a little more.
Not Constantinople.
No, it's Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Didn't make the list.
That's all right. It's nobody's business but the Turks. So anyway, this game, I love this game. I love this game so much. This is one of my favorite games in general, top all-time period. Yes, you will probably see it on my top 100 if you haven't already. Have you been watching? Anyway, this one I thought was really fun because the first time we played it, we played 3 or 4 players, and we still had a blast, and there was a lot of maneuvering and things going on, and then we played it 2-player, and it kind of opens it up a little bit, but as you see where people are, a pattern, like, Hunter loves it. If there's the gambling hall is really close to, I can't think of which.
Buying the gem place.
Buying the gems. Hunter's like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So my favorite thing is, of course, I'm like, hey, you know what? I feel like gambling today. And he's like, oh, you're messing up my pattern. It's so much awesome, just so much awesomeness. And then I love the fact that you've got this little jail house with this crooked relative, nephew, I don't know, that you send on errands and then he gets rearrested. That cracks me up. It just seems so random. You're like doing all this stuff and then, oh, by the way, you have a crooked relative in the game. It's just hilarious. I love this game. And I love the fact that you've got tiles. So you're changing around. Every game is going to look different. And the variant for 2-player is so minimal. If it has one, it's nothing, and I love the way this game plays. So I sometimes forget that it's not just 2-player because we play it so much as a 2-player now. I love this game.
It's
super
a good
fun.
choice. I don't know. I think this is one that I actually like it more.
Yeah. Really?
For whatever reason, I don't know.
Do you feel like it's not too open for you?
I think it's way wide open
Oh,
for 2 players.
I guess I haven't been obnoxious enough.
Because I think we've played a handful of games where you were focusing on one side of the board and I was focusing.
I did kind of leave you alone.
We didn't even interact most of the game, right? So I don't know. Maybe
It's a race.
It
Yes.
is a race.
Yep.
Not on your list. I thought you were gonna have lots of crossover,
Yeah.
but no.
No, I don't. Yeah.
All right, onward to number 4.
Trying to sneak
We're
you guys-
leaving behind the Cult of the New. and
What?
We're into the Cult
Is
of
this
the
the
Old.
major cheat?
Nope, not yet.
You left your cheat for number 1, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
not.
I thought he was going to just make it to where we set the place on fire at the end.
My number 4
Oh,
is
wow.
Le Havre.
That's true. That game, I didn't
Le
think about that
Havre.
one.
This game, I love
Good
it,
two-player.
and I think we've only ever played it 2. I'm thinking. Maybe. We maybe played it with 3 one time.
We've played with 3. I think
I
we played with
cannot
Paul.
see playing this game with 4 players at all.
No interest, actually.
It would be
Too long.
long.
Too long.
2 players is fast.
Too
It's
long.
quick.
Yeah.
Turns. I just like games where turns go by really quickly.
Until the end of the game when you start APing about your final moves.
Well, that's how you win.
Tradition.
But this is
Good
I'm,
game.
I'm trying to think. This is my favorite Rosenberg game?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it is.
As much as you rant about it anyway.
It's my favorite Rosenberg game, and it's. I personally think it's designed for 2 or 3 players. There's a 2-player variant, so I think more so it's designed for 3 players. I think 4 players is just too much. The game's really fun. The turns are quick. Lots of good choices. The game's tight, but not so tight that you're going crazy. There is an ability to block the other players, and we have interaction in that way even with 2 players. It's just a really well designed game that I think plays awesome 2-player. And it does have a 2-player variant. The only really variant is you pull out some buildings that don't make sense with more than 2 players.
Yeah.
Is kind of the variant.
That's basically it, and I love it.
But if you like Rosenberg games like Caverna,
gosh.
Agricola, all those games, and you haven't played Le Havre, you need to try it out because I think it's
it's
awesome.
It has stood the test of time, and it's very popular still. I think that speaks volumes for what a solid game it is.
And this is not on my list previously because I thought I was shocked that it wasn't on the list, and I realized we got this for the Valentine's Day tradition that year. So it was a month later when we first got this game. So we hadn't played this one yet.
That's awesome.
In fact, all the ones on my list so far, I don't think we've played yet.
Colt in the New, hello.
Well, we played a ton of games in the last 2 years.
I know.
A ton.
Ridiculous.
A ton of games.
Ridiculous. Alrighty. My number 4, maybe, has been mentioned before. Maybe. Just in the wrong place.
Number 4 has been mentioned?
It has. My number 4 has been mentioned.
Un momento.
I'm waiting.
Orleans?
Yes! Well played, sir, well played. Orleans.
I guess I should put it up for the rest of the folks, huh?
Yeah. Read our minds. Yes, this game, everything we said before, and then some, because I love it. And I love the bag building with it. And I haven't played enough of Altiplano to say I'm putting it up here in my top 10 yet. I'll be completely honest. And I think I want to play it multiplayer and try it and just see. Orleans is so much fun. And it's another one of those, to us, it's a go-to 2-player game because we really like what little variant, if there is one to it, is so minor in that
You
one
just
too.
get, there's less discs that you
Discs.
can purchase. This is the only difference.
That's right, it's the amount of discs. That's the only variant, and that's, you're playing the same game. And I love that about some of these games where it's just such a minor little tweak in it. You're like, okay, so this is great. I have the same experience, but with less people, so it's going to take a little bit less time. I'm cool with that. Whatever. I love it. So Orleans is great. It's super mega awesome if you have the collector's shiny sparkly edition. But we have the regular one, and it is quite pretty. And
But we have the kind of the mid-range one.
Oh, is it mid-range?
There's like a DLP, I think, is the company, the version that.
What's that? Gray boxes or something? What are they?
No, the tokens are much thinner.
Oh, boo!
And things like that.
Boo!
So we have like the Tasty Minstrel edition, which is
Okay, get the
a
mid-range.
step up,
Yeah, get the mid-range.
and then they made a deluxe
The
version.
deluxe one's ridiculously awesome. But, excuse me.
Everybody's talking about how everyone's doing videos tonight. And yeah, this isn't our normal night, but
I'm crazy, and I'm taking a master's class.
So that's why we're on tonight.
Yep.
We'll be back to our normal Tuesdays.
It only meets like 3 times during the semester, so it'll only disturb us minimally. Peeps.
If you're watching after the fact, you don't care when we recorded it.
There you go, and you're like, whatever.
All right, my number 3. We have arrived at the cheat.
The cheat.
So
Strong
here-
bad?
So here, let me explain my cheat. The purpose of this cheat. Because if I did not do this cheat, half of my list would go away and be replaced with what this one cheat does.
Oh, I know what it is. I know what your cheat is now. Because I kind of did something similar.
Oh,
earlier.
ha!
No, I'm thinking I did something similar earlier.
So my number 3...
Is it all... Yep, it is. I knew it. I did that with Pandemic.
My number 3 is most every Stefan Feld game. Is my number 3. So if I did not do this, and this is for you guys' benefit to get a wider range of games, half of my list would be Feld games. Because Feld is a master at balancing games for all player counts. He is a master at doing that. So if I didn't do this cheat, my list would include, my top 10 would have included Oracle of Delphi, Trajan, Macau, Amerigo, and Castles of Burgundy. So half of my list would have been Feld games if it wasn't for this cheat. So, I did this for you guys.
Don't cheat. Where's Trogdor? No, you are correct though. Seriously,
Because I
he totally balances them. And we've played a multiplayer. We've played them 2-player, and you get that same level of challenge. It doesn't open up the board where, like you said, we don't interact.
Right.
We always are interact. We're forced to
Right.
interact. He shrinks the board if you're 2-player to where you still have all of the same elements in the game, but they're closer together and you have to interact. There's just no getting away from it. He's really, really good at that.
Yeah, so originally I made my list, and I realized half of it was Feld games. I'm like, that's
Only half?
half the list.
We have enough that you could have filled your top 10.
Half the list was Feld games. I'm like, okay, I could take and do one Feld as one, and that gives you 4 more games to know about, right?
Yep.
So, if I had to put a game here, it would be my favorite Feld game, which is Oracle at Delphi. Because I think that works, like she said, I think it works amazingly well 2-player because
So much fun.
Use a smaller map, and
So much fun.
It's just all his games are just. I've never none of the games we played 2-player. I went, wow, this has got a weird variant, or this doesn't.
No, they don't.
He
They
just does a
don't.
really well of, like you said, condensing the board or limiting your choices or causing the players to interact in some way, even with 2 people. That
Sure.
I just. Why is it number 3? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a very good question, actually. I wanted to ask that question. All right.
So anyway, my number 3 is every Feld game. Not every Feld game. I'll do it one more time for those that weren't listening at home. Oracle of Delphi, Trajan, Macau, Amerigo, and Castles of Burgundy would have made the list.
My number 3,
Is every Feld game.
that would be amazing. But no.
And there was no Felds on the list previously because we played our first Feld game, I think, in March of 2016.
Really?
So we had not even tried out Feld yet when we
That's
made
amazing.
this list.
That's amazing. Okay.
That tells you how many games we've played since the last
Yeah, that's
time
a
we made this list.
stupidly... Wow. And
Alright.
I can guarantee what's behind us looked completely different, too.
Yeah, it was 2 little bookshelves that were half empty when we made the list last time.
Somebody's got an addiction. Intervention time. I guess this is our intervention, our weekly chats.
All right.
So my number 3 is AoE, as in Age of Empires 3, Age of Discovery. I'm trying to even remember what the variant was. Was there a variant?
I don't think there's a variant for
If
number
there
of players.
is a variant, again, it's pretty much non-existent. Love this game. Love this game. I was shocked at how awesome it was 2-player, and I love the fact that it's got all of your worker placement maneuverings on one side, and then on the other side you've got this really gorgeous map, and you've got this area control resource collection thing going on this side, because you're trying to take over areas and you can get resources off of it, or you can fight each other. You can actually duke it out. Just really cool game, and it was a really smooth play. It's set up so each round is kind of like you have this part and then you move people over. This part, you move people over, and it's very smooth play. Really enjoyed that. And I like the little boats that look like they're made out of chocolate, because those little chocolate boats are amazing bonus points for your resources.
Wild cards, yeah.
Yeah, the wild cards. And I also love the fact that I figured that out like a half second before you and started collecting them. And that was so much fun. It's very rare that I get one up on you.
Well, you
With
also
a strategy,
then you also
and-
snag the bonus that you get points for boats.
Yes. And so much fun. It's a cool game.
So this and many very similar games made my list, and I eliminated them for the very reason that I don't think, and this is my personal opinion, I don't think area control works well with fewer players. That's just my personal opinion.
I don't know about this one.
Because
This one-
when we play this game, we tend to avoid each other rather than interacting with each other on the map. It's like you go there, okay, I'm going to go over here, and then you go over here,
Yeah, but
and
the
I'll go there.
strategy's a little bit different.
I
I
just don't think area. That's my opinion. I don't think area control works as well with less players. That's why games like I'm gonna spoil my list a little bit, but games like this, games like Scythe, games like Blood Rage, games like El Grande, anything that has area control, I think you need more players to make it more interesting. In my opinion,
I can see that, but I feel like the game's split pretty evenly between all your maneuverings on the other side too.
No, don't get me wrong. I love it.
To me, like this one in particular. Now, area control in general, yes, I would say that. But with this one in particular, I feel like we really, I don't know. I don't feel like interaction is not entirely necessary with this one. I don't know.
Yeah, I axed 5 games because of area control alone.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, I didn't put Blood Rage on there because I was like, yeah, we sometimes, unless I'm feeling annoying, like obnoxious and stuff, I usually avoid you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't, but yeah, it's just you can do that with 2-player, which normally in Blood Rage you're not going to have that. So yeah, Age of Empires 3, Age of Discovery, love that game 2-player.
All right, my number 2, which was my number 1 last time. It's
got to be. I knew it. I didn't want to spoil it.
My number 2 is Viticulture. This is
well played.
For those that don't necessarily like the heavier games, this is the go-to game, in my opinion, for 2 players that you want to have on your shelf that you can play with more players, and it's still amazing. This game plays amazing at all player counts. It is awesome 2-player game. This was my number 1 game of all time for a year. It's still really high up on my list. It's one of the few outliers among a bunch of heavy games that I have on my top list. This one is just solid, and it plays amazing well 2-player. It's just the right amount of tightness. It's that mid-weight, hour and a half Euro game. It flows so smoothly. If someone ever asks me, and I think they can handle a mid-weight game, what game should I get? This is the first game that will fly out of my mouth, because this is probably our most recommended game on our channel. This is just, I think I said enough. It's just awesome.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think overall this is our number 1 recommended game. Super good choice because love this game.
The only reason it dropped down, I'll explain that in a moment. But it was on my list. Like I said, it was my number 1 game on the last list, and it is still holding strong.
And nor is it likely to change anytime in the near future. My number 2 has been mentioned before, and I bet you'll never guess in 1,000 years what it is.
It's been mentioned before?
It has.
I know what your number 1 is. Oh, there it is. I thought it was your number 1. That's funny.
What?
No, maybe not. Oh my gosh. You cheated too, you big cheat.
I don't consider this cheating because...
You're gonna say it?
Yeah, it's Stefan Feld games, except I just went ahead and threw them all in there because all the ones that I've played so far balance well. And I didn't really consider it a cheat because I did the same thing with Pandemic. I'm shocked you didn't give me crap about that. Now I know why, but... I didn't want to fill up my list with one type of game because I didn't think that was really the purpose of this top 10 list. I wanted to showcase a bunch of really good games that are go-tos. And Feld just has that knack, like we said before, of he's got a positive talent for making... His games are almost always 2 to 4 players, and he balances them so that it is the same amount of strategy and effort and play and interaction from 4 players to 2 players. Doesn't matter what the player count is. It's amazing. And so if you wanted a recommendation, it's the games here.
Some of those games.
No, I'm cool with, honestly, 2 players for all of them are fun.
That's true.
I enjoy them Now, some of them I enjoy.
Might enjoy them more. Stefan, everyone's giving you crap.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I was in a hurry. That's my bad. It's Stephen Feld, his lesser-known half-brother. I don't know. I have nothing.
Here you go, sweetie.
Thanks. Look at you. Look at that. Maybe I'll keep my IT guy this week. But no, seriously, like, Stefan Feld rocks. And there's a reason that we put him in our, like, easily seen, visible stuff, because it really is really talented at that. And if you like that style of game, then we just gave you basically like a top 20 list instead of a top 10, because there you go. But I didn't want to do that. I did not want to fill up my list with that.
Which 2 or 3 would make your top of your list?
Amerigo and Trajan, and I like what you said about Oracle of Delphi, and actually Macau. That was surprisingly rich 2-player too, because we first played it 3-player, and I thought, wow, it's gonna feel
Which one?
Macau. I thought it might be light, like feel too open.
No,
and it wasn't.
We were fighting for control.
Yeah, we were still fighting for stuff, and I was pleasantly surprised with how well that balanced. So I mean, again, his older stuff even balances well. So there you have it, Stefan Feld.
It's funny. I thought you would.
With an
I
F.
thought. I didn't think you would do the same thing. I thought you would put 2 or 3 on your list and call it good.
I thought about it that as I'm writing them down, and I'm like, I could, yeah, no, I wasn't gonna do that to you guys. I felt like that was kind of a cop out. So, because not everybody's a Feld fan.
True, and they want to hear about 5 different Felds. And
Yeah,
say
you'd
the
be
same
like,
thing. This
next,
is great. This is
quick.
amazing 2-players.
Yeah.
This is amazing 2-players. Hey, this one's amazing 2-players too.
You get it. It's amazing 2-players. We've already mentioned it twice, and you've got like 10 games in the mix. So there
All
you
right,
go.
my number 1
Better
is
be amazing.
What's my number
If it
1?
beat Viticulture.
What's my number 1?
Well, it's not Blood Rage because it's area control.
My number 1.
Star Trek.
Which one? One of them's only 2-player, and the other one's only 3-player.
Technically, you could play it 4-player.
Get out of here with that. My number 1 is a game I would probably never play 4 players, and you'd have to beat me up to play it 2 players. And it's one of my all-time favorite games.
Beat you up to play it?
3 players.
Oh,
I would
okay, I
never
was
play
like-
it 4 players. You'd have to beat me up to play it 3 players, and it's one of my all-time favorite games.
Marco Polo.
No.
Champions. Oh, duh. Through the Ages.
Through the Ages.
Yeah,
the
no
new
way.
story of civilization. I love this game 2 players. It is awesome 2
That's
players.
true.
I never played it 4, and I don't think I will ever play it 4 players because, oh my goodness, it is
The
long.
length of time and the amount that you
I
have
would
to teach
consider
somebody.
it 3 maybe if everyone was experienced players, but I love it 2 players. It's just the turns are quick. There's
Well,
the right amount, well,
can
fairly
be.
quick. The right amount of interaction is just because the one of the flaws. I don't know if it's I guess it is a flaw of Through the Ages is you take your entire turn. We're talking from
Yeah,
the very
that's true.
beginning all the way to the end of your turn. That includes doing your resources, everything before you move on to the next player. And the next player does their
True.
entire turn.
True.
And once you get the game going, once you're cooking and you have a pretty good engine going, start to finish, one turn might take a person 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I could say it conceivably could take 10 minutes for one person to take their turn. Conceivably. It probably should go faster than that, but there's situations like if you have some interactions going on or wars or you're fighting over colonies or things like
Yeah,
that.
then you're going to have more, but...
Before it goes to the next person. So do that 3 times before it gets back to you. Oh, no way.
Yeah,
So
no, there's no way. Mm-mm.
So the fact that this one is so, in my opinion, so much better 2-player compared to more players, that's what it pushed it up the list a little bit.
See, and it's funny that you say that because that's what kept it off of my list entirely because I would never consider this game multiplayer. To me, this is a 2-player game because
Yeah.
I would not want to put myself through that. Or anyone else, for that matter. Just
Someone asked how long is a 2-player game. If we've recently played and we're... Because we don't play... This one doesn't hit the
Yeah,
table all the time.
but
if we've
we
recently
can
played and
throw
we're
it down.
on and we know the rules and we're ready to roll right off the bat, we can probably knock it out in 2 hours.
Yep, we can, easily. But...
If you
Again-
play, and you're adding at least an hour a player, at least, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
An hour a player.
I agree, it's a lot.
And if you put a new player in the mix with that, then you're talking,
You're going to have an hour of teaching.
it's just, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a really complicated game to teach. Just because there's so many little steps and kind
It
of
is a
things
lot.
that
Is a lot to
snowball.
teach, and the AP on this can just go through the roof because you have so many decisions to make.
Mm-hmm.
Even us, we still have to kind of look and analyze what's going on each turn. That's why each turn can take up to 10 minutes.
Yeah, especially later on when things are like chaining off of each other and whatnot. Yeah.
But I love this game. This is one of my all-time favorite games, but I've only played it 2, and
Likely to never
it
change
may not change. So.
No, that's true. That's true. Very true. And I saw, Kabuki, you were mentioning that Leaving Earth game, and just from what I've seen of that game, I'm with you. That would be a 2-player only kind of game because it's got that same weight like this game does of complications where you really have to map and math everything out, and to do that takes too much time per person.
This is a long game. This is an epic game.
Oh yeah, well it's we've talked about that before. You've seen it. It's playing that Civ computer game, Sid Meier's Civ. That's what I think of every time we play this game. It reminds me so much of it because of all the different aspects.
Just take the board off and just do the technology and the resources.
Yeah,
and,
get rid of the map,
yeah.
and you have it. And so
all right.
take
So
it. My number 1.
tell me about viticulture.
Yes.
Right. Wait, hold on, I'm not ready.
Wow, way to spoil it. Wait for it. Still waiting for it. How about now? Waiting for it. Viticulture.
And it was her number 1 last time. It was both our number 1.
Yeah, you know, and I think that speaks volumes. We've already talked about viticulture, and this game is so smooth. It's easy to teach. It's easy to learn. There's a lot of strategy to it but again, it's a relaxed game. It's not where you're like, oh, what am I going to do? I have this and this. You know, I suppose you could kind of get yourself worked up, stressful if you're towards the end, if you're not filling your orders and you waited too long and now you're fighting with people to get those, but that's probably the most stress you're going to have in this game. The rest of the time, it's just picking between a bunch of good choices. And I love the expansion that splits it up so you now have 4 seasons. It changes up your strategy somewhat. All the special little workers from the different expansion Tuscany. It's beautiful. I love the different specialty meeples you've got now. So you've got special workers that do special abilities. They might be able to jump ahead of season and reserve a spot for you, or just different things like that, or give you an extra coin or some craziness. And it's just a beautiful game. And we love it. And it plays well with more players. This
Yes.
one does. I don't mind playing this any player count.
No.
It doesn't extend the game so much that you're like, oh, this is dragging. Everybody's able to do their turns quickly. And again, the variant.
Less spaces.
That's it.
You use some
That's
of the
it. The bonuses for when another person goes to the space first. You don't get the bonus if there's only 2 people.
Yeah.
And you effectively, one person blocks it out, kind of thing.
Yep.
And that's it. That's the only difference. So everything's still available to you. Just a few little extra perks that help, because you might have some resource problems getting blocked out, I would assume, more so with multiple players.
Right.
So, and that's it. I mean, that's just a nice little tweak to keep everything running smoothly. Awesome game. Awesome game.
Yeah, like I said when I was talking earlier, we've recommended this so many times, and it's always gone over well.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
Everybody loves this game.
Don't even ever recall anyone saying, "Ooh, I hate viticulture."
Yeah.
So
And it's so funny because we were so hesitant. We waited almost a year before we got this game.
because we heard it didn't play well 2-player.
We kept walking by it at the store going, that box cover looks so dull.
Yeah.
And the theme sounds so dull, and it sounded stupid. It was like, but now we're as you see, the board game world is really going out there and trying to find unique themes and things like, I'm thinking about Lisboa, for example, rebuilding this city after earthquakes and tsunamis and all this craziness. And it's like, wow, that sounds like such an arbitrarily random theme, but that's kind of all the rage now, is to find something unique. And Viticulture did that a while ago and did a nice job of it.
So we had a question. I mean, it's probably one of the most common questions. I swore.
Oh, okay.
I swore,
Is this Tuscany versus Essentials?
I swore I was gonna make a video about this, but
You didn't. You haven't yet.
Yeah.
No.
So you got the original Viticulture First Edition. Then you had Viticulture Second Edition, which changed it up a little bit. And then the expansion of Viticulture is Tuscany. But later on, they changed it, and now what you normally buy, what used to be Viticulture, is now Viticulture Essentials, which is the second edition of Viticulture, plus a little piece of Tuscany, like a few of the modules from Tuscany. So that's what you buy is now the base game. Viticulture, you're buying Viticulture, just Viticulture, it's secondhand at this point. And to go along with Viticulture Essentials, now they have Tuscany Essentials, which is most of the rest of what used to be Tuscany. So Viticulture Essentials and Tuscany Essentials is basically equivalent to Viticulture and Tuscany. For whatever reason, there is like one or two things that was in Tuscany that's not in Viticulture Essentials and Tuscany Essentials for whatever reason. So there is I think there's one or two modules that's not in the new versions of the game. I don't know because they caused confusion or they got bad feedback on them or what, but they took those out. So now you're going to buy Viticulture Essentials and Tuscany Essentials, not Viticulture and Tuscany. So that is my long-winded explanation for how that works. But we have Viticulture and Tuscany because we bought them way back.
Yep. And I tried to make a chart of this, but basically what it comes down to at the bottom, if you can read that, is just... Oh, it's glaring. Darn it. The verdict, it's all a hot mess. Just go with getting
Get
the
Viticulture
Essentials and call it good.
Yeah.
And then if you really, 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 really love it, then go research the rest of it. It's a mess.
All
Total
right.
mess.
So that is our list. Almost no crossover
That was interesting, yes.
from our previous list.
Yeah.
Now here I want to read your. Should I read my list first? I'll read my list first, and I'll read your list, and you can react to it. So here's my list from January 10th, 2016. Number 10 was Airlines Europe,
Good game.
which let me start by saying that most of these games just have dropped down my list because there's so many good new games.
True,
So,
true.
Airlines Europe, which is a great game. It plays really well 2 players.
Yes, it does.
Artifacts Inc.
Awesome game.
Another game that plays really well 2 player.
Yes, it does. It's fun 4-player team.
Elysium.
Ooh, good game. Ooh,
I like Elysium 2 player.
Yep.
All these obviously I like 2 player, but they just kind of moved down my
Yeah.
list a little bit.
I can see that.
Pillars of the Earth.
Ooh.
Roll for the Galaxy.
Definitely.
Voyages of Marco Polo.
Meh.
The reason that one didn't make my list is because I think I actually prefer it with more players.
You're just tired of hearing me gripe about the dice hating me.
That too, but I think I prefer that one with more players.
Yeah.
Castles of Mad King Ludwig, which I am shocked is not on your list this time around.
You know what? I'm so used to playing that with multiple people lately.
The reason it didn't make my list is because I think the auction is more interesting with more players, which
That's
is
true.
which is true,
That's true.
with most auction games. I think the auction or the bid is more bidding. I don't know, bidding auction.
Yeah,
whatever.
bidding.
It's
bidding,
more interesting
Yeah.
because when you in castles you set up what's going to be auctioned, and then each of the players buys something from that. Can buy something from that
Yep.
display, and you get the money when they buy. With only one other player, you only have one chance for someone to buy one of your things.
Yep.
All right. Number 3 is Champions of Midgard, which I strongly considered for this list. But after playing it with more players, I think it's better with more players.
Interesting.
I think I enjoy Champions with more than 2 players.
Wow.
And
Okay.
then number 2 was Couriers, because I was crazy obsessed with Couriers back in the day.
You were obsessed with Warriors.
That one
Big time.
just dropped down my list. And then my number 1, obviously, Viticulture.
Yep.
So here's your list. Let's see what you think.
Okay.
Number 10 was New York 1901.
I still like that 2-player.
And then 5 Drive, as I mentioned, is your number 9.
Yep.
Number 8 is Power Grid.
I still like that 2-player.
Number 7 is Alien Frontiers.
I don't know. That was pretty fun playing a multiplayer.
Oh,
I'll have to think about that
I keep
one.
forgetting to take the stupid graphic down. Someone mentioned it.
forgetting.
There we go. Sorry about that. All right, what you got? Number
My
Power Grid.
TVs.
Alien Frontiers. What did you say about Alien Frontiers?
I think I like it multiplayer. We've had some really good plays multiplayer now. I'm not so sure about that.
And number 6 was Airlines Europe, which was a crossover for us.
I like that 2-player.
Previously.
I like that one 2-player.
Number 5, Automania, which I'm shocked isn't on your list.
Yeah, that one is pretty fun 2-player. I gotta be honest. I like that one. It's pretty smooth. It was probably my 12 or 13 to be honest.
Okay.
It didn't quite make the.
Number 4, Artifacts Inc., which was another crossover previously.
We haven't played that in a while.
Mm-mm.
I want to play that.
Number 3 is Castles of Mad King Ludwig, which was another crossover. I'm shocked that wasn't on your list.
You know what?
I thought you would have. I thought you
The bidding.
I thought half your list would be a crossover.
I was thinking it might be too, but then no, like the bidding. I'm with you. I love playing that game, and I just want to play that game. Period. It doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't
to play
stand
it.
out as a
It
2-player?
doesn't stand out to me as a 2-player because I just love that game so much in general. I don't know if that makes sense entirely, but
All right, number 2, Roll for a Galaxy, another one I thought would be on your list. No?
I've gotten to where I just love that game too. That's another one like Castles. I just love that game. I don't think of it as a 2-player.
All right, and then number 1, Viticulture. Which
Because Viticulture rocks.
Viticulture wins today, I guess, because it's number 1 for both last time, and you're number 1 and my number 2 this time. So
Yep.
that speaks volumes to how good Viticulture is.
There you go.
All right, let me scroll back quickly for any questions, and we're going to wrap it up.
I saw somebody had mentioned that we should go to BGG and download. There's some PDF for First Martians that helps.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Strong bad references.
Let's see what we got going. I'll go back a while. See what we got here. Scrolling music, scrolling music, scrolling music.
I like the scrolling music. This is interesting. You guys ever had scrolling music?
Scrolling music.
Did
You
you
know what?
know there was
I'm
scrolling
shocked
music?
is no one gave us crap about our Feld.
Because they thanked us heartily for not having a list of Felds. I bet you anything. Am I wrong or am I right? I know. They're like, Feld, Feld, Feld. We get it. You're friends of Feld. The Feld fan club. I'm going to fall asleep. So, how are things?
Why don't you talk about what's coming out tomorrow?
What's coming out tomorrow? A whole bunch of awesomeness. So modest.
Answer-
I'm just kidding.
answer that
No, but
question.
interestingly enough,
Answer that.
my next chunk of my top 100 is coming out tomorrow, and this is only the second one, right?
Yep,
So this is
90
our
to
90 81, and so I'm finding it very interesting as I go along because I did the Pup Meeple thing, and it's almost a blind ranking because you're doing all those questions. You're like this better or this better, and it ranks it for you. So I was a bit surprised on some of the things that fell where they did. They make sense to me now, but at first I was like, really? Yeah, I guess I do, you know? So it was pretty fun to do that.
The only issue with top 100s, and especially with that thing,
Oh,
it really depends on your mood.
especially for me. I don't know if you guys, well, you probably have realized if you watch the channel at all, it's really difficult for me to rank stuff sometimes because I can't just say, okay, I give this an 8. I'm like, well, this could be an 8.25. And so I always break any ranking system I have. It's really hard for me to, I really have a hard time with that because there's so many different aspects to look at. I mean, gameplay, and they're completely different types of games. How do you put, Bruges versus Coconuts? Okay, you've got a dexterity game versus some thinky strategy, To me, that's why I say I put so much attachment to memory and things with that, because if we have strong memories of playing that game, that tells me something about the game design and the gameplay. Well, and the people you play with, obviously, too, but you give me another month and I build that list, and my list is going to fluctuate a little bit.
So someone
it's fun.
asked if we were going to, I think it was Kabuki. Yeah,
Ask what now?
Ask if we're going to do more than one a week. Right now we're planning on one a week,
But
that could change.
yeah,
We're just right now we're barely filming, keeping up with the filming of those. So
yeah, we're doing all right. Like it doesn't help that I have that master's class right now, so there's stuff like that kind of going on. There's extra stuff in the mix right now, so we'll see how the schedule goes. That's our goal, though. Next year, though, we've already determined we're gonna stack them up and give you a whole bunch of it at once.
well, next year we're going to do both
Simultaneously.
We'll do
well,
one of each of ours each week. You'll still take the 10 weeks, but you'll get 2 videos.
2 lists, yeah. And then we'll do some crazy mega combining lists and
We're
nonsense.
going to do that this year. We're going to do it.
Oh, are we? Ooh.
We're just going to do it quickly. Just do a live. What if you took our 2 lists and smashed them together?
That'd be fun.
What it would look like.
That'll be fun, and it'll be fun to see what you guys rank games that you enjoy too. So, but that's it, guys. We chatted way over the time today, I think. So.
No one's watching at this point anyway.
Yeah. No, it's great. Thanks for coming over and joining us tonight. I know there's other stuff. I know Dice Tower is doing their usual shenanigans and stuff, so it's really cool that you guys came and hung out and chatted with us. And hope you enjoyed, got some ideas, want to try some 2-player go-tos. Check them out. Tell us about some other goodies so we can share with everyone.
And look for more of these flashback type lists, repeat lists, because we played so many games, like I said, in the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's gonna be
that
fun. We're gonna try
Our
changing them
lists
up.
are going to be every time. I bet our lists are completely different.
Which is exciting, because then that should give you now a set of, 20 new games to try out in the same kind of
Right.
category or whatever genre.
Because I still think our list from last year is completely valid. So.
Oh, yeah.
Or,
Oh, yeah.
I keep saying last year, previously. All right, let's get out of here.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, morning / day, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. Take care. We'll see you soon.
Bye.